truly helpful. Suffering hurts. You know that. So if you have a hurting friend with a brand new injury or illness, just stay by their side. Give them the freedom and the time to experience the grief of loss. That's what my friends did for me. From disabilitycampaign.org, our advice is just be there.
This is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM and AM 1160. And it's time now for one of our interviews presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Of course, when you think of Christmas in Indiana County, you cannot help but think of Jimmy Stewart and probably the most famous film that he was ever in, It's a Wonderful Life. Well, of course, the Jimmy Stewart Museum, right across the street from us over here at the radio station, is active in the month of December. And joining us right now, Janie McKirgan of the Jimmy Stewart Museum. Janie, it's good to see you again.
It's great to see you as well, John.
Oh, my gosh. And just reminds me that that there's a lot of stuff going on over there.
There is so much going on over there. Things are really stepping up. The crowds are coming, which is great. We have tour buses coming as well. Right now, we've expanded our rotating exhibit gallery, so it's all things It's a Wonderful Life. We have posters and pictures and vintage It's a Wonderful Life items and collectibles that are new. We have behind-the-scenes facts about the movie, which are really fascinating. And we have the Lego house of the Granville house that is built by Dad and his 11-year-old daughter that they're hoping to make an official Lego kit. So you can come and get information to vote on that, which is really cool to see. Mm-hmm. And then we have 3 different things showing in our theater. Obviously, It's a Wonderful Life, the documentary, The Making of It's a Wonderful Life, which is narrated by Frank Capra Jr. And new this year is GE Theater's A Trail to Christmas. And is, we got it from the Reagan Library. You can't see it streaming, you can't buy it. The only place it's showing is either the Reagan Library or the Jimmy Stewart Museum. And it is directed by Jimmy Stewart, stars Jimmy Stewart, introduced by Ronald Reagan. And the best I can describe it as is like a cowboy Christmas carol.
Well, I'm familiar with Stewart's career as I am. He did tackle it once.
Yes.
And on the radio program, The Six Shooter.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it was Britt Ponsett's Christmas Carol. But this should be interesting to see. So on loan from the Reagan Museum, when was this made?
Boy, I don't have the date.
Obviously,
it had to
obviously it had to be like the golden age of television.
Yes.
Because you said, what program was it from?
It was GE Theaters.
The GE Theater. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it sounded like it was one of those prestige drama shows that did a different drama once a week or something like
absolutely. So we're really lucky to have it, and we thank the Reagan Library for giving us permission.
That is a rare thing. I'm going to have to see that now.
You will.
You know me.
You will.
Oh my gosh. Now you were talking about the Lego house, the old Granville house, and we've been seeing its progress on the Lego sites as it continues to try to become the next collector set.
Right.
I think it's making good progress so far.
It is. Mike Clark did a story on it and it aired on WTAE, and that started getting legs, and a lot of other stations re-aired that. Mm-hmm. We're getting a lot of calls about it. People are coming in because of it. Actually, Jason Midoff is building us the gym pool that cranks and opens up.
Yes, I do remember him showing me that because we also came over, I think, when he made the donation of the house. And he was saying that he had the pool and everything, and he was showing us the inner workings of it. It's amazing what you can do with a bunch of Legos.
Oh, the fact that they created this. And then he's also building us Gower Drugs and Bailey Brothers Building Alone.
Ah, wow. Now, I do have to say this. He did give me a little souvenir of the whole experience. He gave me his version of the "You Are Now in Bedford Falls" sign.
Yeah.
It's now on my bookshelf.
I love it.
Back in my house.
I love it.
But it is nice. And that is such a nice set. And again, it just shows that what you can do with Legos, because one of the things that I thought was pretty neat with the Granville house, you can actually take the roof off of the structure and look in and see the designs inside of the family room, the staircase, and the other rooms of the first floor of the house.
The one we have doesn't lift off, but the one he has built does. Mm-hmm. So that's very, very, very cool.
Definitely. So you mentioned obviously these 3 features that are rolling across the big screen over at the Jimmy Stewart Museum. I know there's one other special that Jimmy did back in the day. Mr. Kruger's Christmas.
Yes, and we do have that. We usually show that out in the lobby
Mm-hmm.
area for people because we've got this other new one. But if we have time after other screenings, people want to see it in the theater, we can show them that too.
Excellent. Now, this new exhibit of the pieces for It's a Wonderful Life, this is obviously in tribute to the big anniversary of the year for the film. This is the 75th?
It is. It is. Can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah. I know there were plans to try to get Zuzu to come over.
There were, and she was coming, but with COVID and everything, and she wanted kind of a vaccine requirement, and I think there was a lot of things that would have been tough here, and we got a little nervous about.
Understandable.
She's in her 80s, so she is other places. We made the choice to not do that because of we're high numbers here in Indiana, and
Understandable.
we're worried about that. So
understandable. Maybe down the line.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's hope we get to the 80th then.
Yeah, trying to keep everybody healthy. So yes, but we do have a lot of things that are worth seeing. We have a lot of new things in our store. It's a Wonderful Life shirts, a lot of new ornaments, a lot of new books, mugs, necklaces, and there is never charge to come in and shop. So if anybody wants to come in, just tell the ticket window, I'm here to shop, and there's no cost.
You mentioned that you're seeing a lot of people coming in.
Yes.
I think that outside of the summer months, when it is the traditional tourist season, this has got to be one of the busier times of the year because of the fact that Jimmy Stewart is so connected to the holiday season.
Absolutely. And, the tour buses weren't going last year in 2020 because of COVID. Who wants to jump on a tour bus with a bunch of strangers? We're starting to get tour buses back, which is great.
Saw one yesterday, in fact.
And we have 3 next week.
Wow.
We have some people renting the museum in the evening for events. And we also have some schools that are coming for field trips. So it's picking up. We're really happy.
That's good that business is starting to pick up once again. And, of course, it wouldn't be anywhere near where it is right now without all of the volunteers that are helping out over there.
We are so grateful for the volunteers that work for us, our staff that works us. We have a very small group of people that wear a lot of hats over there. And I can't go without thanking the businesses that stepped up to sponsor galleries, because originally we were going to use that for a lot of our renovations, and they helped us keep the doors open. And that's the Ruskini Group, InFirst Bank, First Commonwealth Bank, and S&T Bank, along with everybody who's ever sent a donation in from our ask letter. Every bit has kept the doors open to the museum.
So is there something going on right now then? You said you had an ask letter going out.
We do have an ask letter. We just mailed it yesterday. So if anybody wants to donate, every dollar is really thoughtfully spent. And if you get one and you want to send whatever you can, we're really helpful, because whatever we bring in really trickles into the community. Right now, we've gotten restaurants to run It's a Wonderful Life specials, like special sandwiches and stores and discounts. So we're trying to push all these visitors that just come in for the museum and leave to stay and shop and eat downtown.
That's being a good teammate right there.
We're trying.
Talking with Janie McKirgan of the Jimmy Stewart Museum about the recent goings on there. We talked about the showings of It's a Wonderful Life and, of course, the new offering that's being offered from the GE Theater. That was a very rare showing of a Jimmy Stewart play and on TV. We also talked about the Lego house that's currently on display at the museum. And right now we're continuing into the holiday season. Of course, after the holidays, things start winding down. What does the museum have coming up in the future?
Well, we have something really exciting going on. When I took over, I always wanted to create a rotating exhibit hallway that changes every 3 or 4 months. And we got a call from a gentleman that actually loaned us on permanent loan the Glenn Miller story jacket that Jimmy wore.
Right.
And he says that he has Grace Kelly costumes, including the one she wore in Rear Window.
Oh, wow.
And 4 to 5 costumes that he's willing to loan us for a 3 to 4 month period on display. So now this just happened. So now we're scrambling to try and get a display up and coming. And that will probably be in the spring. He's going to bring them out for us. So that's going to be a really special thing.
Yeah, Princess Grace, though, and Jimmy had a very good history together, not just working on Rear Window, which I consider to be one of the best Hitchcock films of all time, or Jimmy Stewart's roles of all time. But there is something about the way that those two became friends afterwards, and whenever she untimely passed away.
And he spoke at her funeral.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He was one of the eulogists, and he called her probably one of his best friends.
Yes.
In that relationship. But it just shows that Hollywood was just a very different atmosphere back then.
Yes.
When you could form friendships like that on set.
My favorite comment is actually from his wife, Gloria, who said the more glamorous the co-star, the more attention he paid to me
Yes.
to make me feel better. And he paid a lot of attention to her when he started with Grace Kelly.
I'm also glad to see that the rotating exhibits are coming back, because I do remember there were several attempts before your tenure here to get rotating exhibits. I think I remember one of them being the old radio exhibit, which is now a permanent display.
That goes up when we don't have anything to fill both halls.
Oh, gosh.
So we keep that up, but if we, like right now, that's gone because It's a Wonderful Life. We have so much stuff.
But there is a lot, yeah. But
absolutely.
With A Wonderful Life, you could I know that whenever I did the movie introductions, I think I have like 3 or 4 different speeches of movie trivia related to It's a Wonderful Life. But there's so much stuff. I mean, you have the books that were written on it.
Right.
You have the model houses, not just the Lego house. I'm talking about.
We've got the big doll house.
The big doll houses, and also the collectible houses, akin to Department 56, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You have the accessories that go with that. You have obviously the DVDs on of the film. You have just all sorts of different memorabilia connected to It's a Wonderful Life.
We have dolls now this year.
And yet the film was a flop when it came out.
It was amazing, but it was post-World War II, and the movie is kind of depressing until you get to the end. And people were not mentally ready for that kind of movie.
And I don't think they were also ready for the fantasy element as well, because a lot of the stars who were involved in the military overseas, when they came back, they started taking grittier roles, more realistic roles. Jimmy Stewart took a role that went very much the other direction, but was very akin to what Frank Capra had done in the past with films like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington or You Can't Take It With You.
Yes.
We're getting so technical with our stuff, and I hope I'm not boring the listeners. I'm sorry, but yes, I mean, it was amazing how this film kind of caught on as a holiday classic in later years.
Right.
And I think it was, and I hate to say it, it may have been because of that copyright drop.
Yes.
And everybody showing it on cable TV.
But people now consider it one of the best movies ever made. Steven Spielberg says that. There's a list of people that just love this movie. And my favorite piece of the museum, a lot of people miss, is a letter from Frank Capra to Jimmy Stewart. And he says, I had a nightmare the other night that we never made It's a Wonderful Life, and how awful that would have been, and how much they loved that movie, and both of them, it was their favorite film.
That's part of the rotating exhibit?
No, that's on permanent.
That's on the permanent display. Okay.
Because it's one of my favorite pieces that I always point out to people.
All right, so let's recap here. A rotating exhibit right now is featuring memorabilia and items from It's a Wonderful Life. That includes, as we mentioned, the Lego house. What are some of the other items part of this rotating display?
We have collectibles, a lot of like those. We have dolls now. We just got that sold at Target, and it's a Clarence doll, a George Bailey doll, and a Mary Bailey doll, which is really neat under case. So we've got a lot of new collectibles. We have a lot of fun behind-the-scenes facts that we've added to. One of my favorites that I'm going to drop on you is that the actor Sheldon Leonard, who played Nick the bartender, Chuck Lorre, who created The Big Bang Theory, was a huge fan of that actor, and he named Sheldon and
Leonard
after that actor. So we have a lot of little facts like that, and then we have 10 Christmas trees all spread out throughout the museum that are all themed, decorated about Jimmy Stewart and his movies. So those are great too.
Excellent. It's good to see those return as well. Just let's give everybody hours as to when the museum's open.
The museum's open from Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday from noon to 4. And we'd love to have you come out to either shop or check out the museum. It really is a magical time at Christmas.
And if people want more information,
they can call us at 724-349-6112 or go to our website at www.jimmy.org.
All right. Janie, thank you very much. And I promise I'll be over there sometime. I want to see that TV show.
Sounds good.
Thanks again. Janie McKirgan with the Jimmy Stewart Museum joining us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Our interview is presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people.
The 43rd Annual Teddy Bear Fund Drive is underway, and we hope you will help us once again to help